All right, welcome everyone to our Monday morning, last Monday of 2024, our weekly setup. And hey, Nicole, I see lots of returning folks there in the chat. It's so good to see you. And also want to welcome, if anyone is new, is this anyone's first time coming to one of our socials, one of our weekly setups, or if you're brand new to Silk and Sonder, you haven't even got your journal yet, maybe, right? So if you're new, let us know in the chat. You can just say, hey, I'm new. Welcome everyone. So these setups, we do these weekly setups so that you can really kind of get a start on your week. You can get your journal set up. You can get ideas for how to use some of these different spaces and just kind of spend a little time with your Sonder fam, setting aside an hour out of your day to make sure that you're ready to take on that week ahead. So just a few notes here. You are not on camera. You don't have to worry about that. You couldn't be on camera even if you tried, right? So don't worry about you accidentally click something. You're all good. We also can't hear you. No one has their microphones on but me. So you don't have to worry if there's like hubbub going on in the background. It's all good. So also the other thing I want to point out is that when we go through some of these examples, sometimes it's good to like use your phone to take a picture or maybe do a screenshot so that you can remember some of these tips and tricks that we're going to give you. And I see some new folks. Allison is new. Welcome, Allison. Trying to scroll through the chat gets so crazy sometimes. That's the other thing. The chat sometimes can get going pretty fast. We usually have upwards of 100 people here. And so sometimes it starts to roll really fast. If that's stressing you out, like don't let that stress you out. You can just ignore the chat and work on your journal. Or some people like to focus on the chat. They like sharing in the chat. They like hearing what people are saying. And they just take notes on some scratch paper or sticky notes or something. And then they finish up writing in their journal afterward. And, you could always tell people if you have family members, instead of telling them this is an hour, you could maybe fib just a little white lie and say it's 2 hours. It's not 2 hours, but you can just play some music after we're done and finish working on your journal, right? So I always kind of tell people that you can do that. And we've had people do that. They're like, oh no, I have a 2 hour call. And even though they're just with us for an hour, then they just play some music and hang out and finish writing in their journal, right? So making that time for yourself. Exactly, Kate. So the other thing I want to point out is make sure that you switch that little blue box to say everyone. For some reason, on iPhones and iPads, it has an obnoxious tendency to switch back and forth to host and panelist. And when it does that, the only people who can see what you write are myself and my fabulous co-host with me today, Jennifer Kay. She is coming to us from Minnesota, and she will be helping us in the chat. She's going to pop on and give a little wave. Hey, Jennifer. She can help if you have some questions or if I'm going too fast or remind you maybe like what page we're on, all of those kinds of things. And I don't think I introduced myself, but I know a lot of you know me. I'm Maya, and I am here in Denver, Colorado, where it is maybe cooling off a little bit today. We've been like in the 50s and 60s this last week, which is not very Christmassy. But I guess I should not complain because who knows, we might have a snowstorm next week. It's hard to say. And my full-time job is working for a school district, so I am on glorious break for one more week. Last week I was on break. This week I'm on break. So it has been lovely. And I know I have some fellow educators here with me in the chat, and hopefully they are happy that they are on break as well. Yeah. And Laura's saying, I heard the week between Christmas and New Year is called the Hush. So that is great. I think it might be called the cheese and chocolate week because I think that's all I've been eating. But if it's once a year, it's kind of fun to enjoy all those festive things. So also, if you know me, my wish, if I had one wish, is that I would make all months start on a Monday, right? And yes, that might mean that we have 13 months a year instead of 12, but I think that would be fine. We have 13 new moons. It's the new moon today. I just think it would make things so much cleaner and nicer. So when I rule the world, just know that would be one of the first things that I would do is every month starts on a Monday because it makes things easier. Because this week, I know we say December weekly setup, but really it's week one of the new year, but we've got Monday and Tuesday in 2024 and then the rest in 2025. So obviously you'll probably be using your January journal to set up that week one, which is absolutely fine. And that's going to be on those pages 26 and 27, but we'll have We'll have the reflection that's in the December journal. So it's a little wonky this week, and that's okay, right? We'll make it work. We can make it work. So few other community guidelines. We want to make sure that this is a safe and supportive space for everyone. And so we just ask that you're kind and courteous to both yourself and others. No promotions or spam. We respect everyone's privacy. No hate speech or bullying. We limit those repetitive product and accessory questions. The best place to ask about like pens and stickers and all those different fun things that you use for your journal. That's in our app, in the Sonder Club app. Hopefully you have that installed and you're joining us there. Also, because they can put links in there. One of the things we've noticed with the latest Zoom update is if you put links in the chat, people can't click them. So just know that that's another potential issue. Some people can, some people can't. So just know that's potentially an issue. And then any customer care inquiries go to our headquarters team, hello@silkensonder.com. And so any of those, like I need to change my address or a billing inquiry, if you want to like upgrade to the yearly subscription instead of monthly, if you need to change your credit card that's on file. I noticed this month I had a lot of things coming at me saying that my credit card was declined, and I freaked out, and then I realized, oh, the credit card that was on file had expired, so I needed to update those. So if any of that kind of stuff happens, those all go to the hello@silkensonder.com. And then ultimately remember that these socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community, and we have a fabulous community here, so creative, so supportive, but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. So if there's ever anything working on that's kind of not your jam, you don't want to work on that section, you don't use that section, feel free to do whatever you want to in your journal. Maybe you don't want to do anything. You just want to kind of sit and watch the chat and listen to the music. Fabulous, right? This is your time. If the music I'm playing isn't your jam, right, you can mute it. If my voice isn't your jam, you can mute me. We have closed captioning enabled, so you can turn that on, right? So remember, this is for you. Do what you need for you to make this hour productive and happy and inspiring, right, as you go through and work on your week. So this month, still technically December, is optimism, and I thought this was a really nice little quote to put in there. Oh, thanks. Nicole said it's always my, she always says, Maya is always my jam. I like this. An optimist stays up until midnight to see the new year in. A pessimist stays up to make sure the old year leaves. So think about that as you're thinking tomorrow night. Are you staying up until midnight? Which I never stay up till midnight. I stay up till midnight on the East Coast, and then I'm good. Are you seeing the new year in, or are you making sure the old year leaves? And I kind of thought that was a nice mindset to kind of think about. So let's kind of think about welcoming the new year in. We can say goodbye to 2024, but we really want to say welcome 2025. So today we are going to do what we call a bonus mind map. Usually on the weekly setups, we do a mind map that focuses on the theme, but since this is that odd weekend here at the end, we are going to do what we call a bonus mind map. Then we are going to work on our rosebud thorn, which is still in your December journal. And then we are going to do those weekly setup pages. So what I want you to do is to find a blank space or a blank page or a sticky note or anything that you want to write on and think back about what went well in 2024. We are going to think of your word for the year. And if you have not found your word of the year yet, this is a great time to think about that. You don't have to like stick with it, but this is a good time to think about it. If you've already found it, that's absolutely fine. You can spend this time reflecting on what that's going to mean moving forward into 2025. So when you think back about what went well, jot those things down along with how you felt and what would you like more of in 2025. If negative words pop up in your recollection, write what you want to manifest to change that. For example, if exhaustion kind of pops up as you're thinking about 2024, maybe you want to think about the word rest. Scarcity to abundance, afraid to brave, right? Think about how you can get a change in that feeling. And then also list the things that you want to focus on this year. What feelings will those things bring about for you? Jot down words to describe the kind of person you'd like to be by the end of 2025. Maybe you write a letter from your end of 2025 self to your right now, talking about all the great things that happened and the things that you did. Maybe you want to think about song lyrics or mantras or daily affirmations, maybe any of our former themes that we've had. And we also do have a quiz. Hopefully you got that in your email, but if you didn't, Jennifer's going to pop the link in there so that you can take that quiz and come and see what you come up with. I see some folks are saying clarity. Someone got prosperity, so you can take that quiz. So lots of different options there. And then I also have our little word find of the year to maybe find your 2025 word that was on our Silk and Sonder Instagram page, or here's a whole list of words, right? So think about what words you want. I'm kind of going back and forth with 3 words. The first word is deep, just thinking about really doing some deep work, being very focused, getting very deep into some different things. But then another word that kind of appealed to me was release. So maybe releasing expectations, releasing clutter. And then the other one, now I forgot my other one, so maybe that's not, calm. So release, calm, and deep. So I'm kind of trying to think that they kind of form a nice little triangle. So I'm still kind of thinking what I want my word for 2025 to be. So I will play a little bit of music to let you think about that. Let us know what your word for 2025 is, and then we'll check back in here in just a few minutes. Okay, so I saw a lot of you are coming up with your words. Some of you also said the word that the quiz gave you. You were kind of like, that's not really resonating with me. No worries, right? Pick a different word. It's not a big deal, right? Again, none of us are going to come to your door and be like, knock, knock, knock. Your quiz said your word was prosperity. You can't switch it, right? That's not not going to happen. This is totally something that works for you. And to be honest, my word for 2024 was shine, and it didn't really work out so well. I kind of lost track on what I wanted to do for that. So and someone also suggested maybe they were going to do a word of the quarter, right? And I love that idea. I think because things change, right? Stuff happens, our lives change, things come up we weren't planning for, and then sometimes that word doesn't quite fit anymore. So the most important thing is that you're picking a word that really can help kind of resonate. You can take some action to maybe focus on that and see what that looks like. So feel free to share in Sonder Club what your word of the year is going to be. I know we're going to talk about it probably in some other upcoming socials that we have coming. I know I think we have a monthly set up tonight, so you can certainly talk about it there. And I see lots of folks are also giving some ideas in the chat. Someone also said, Nicole said, oh, a lot of people have clarity. Like maybe I don't want a word that a lot of other people had. And to me, I think it's great if you have a word that a lot of other people have, because then you can collaborate and you can help set actions with each other, and maybe you can kind of check in with the other folks who have that word and kind of see. So kind of think about it that way. So lots of fun, different words. Oh, amazing, radiant. All of these words are fabulous. So thanks for indulging a little bit in that activity. And now we are going to do our rosebud thorn, where we always do that each week at the end of each week, where we reflect back on the previous week. And if you're doing the monthly setup, you're going to do a lot of reflecting even more tonight when you reflect on the year and you reflect on the month of December. But right now, we're just going to reflect on this last week over on page 56 if you have the December journal. If you just started with us in January and you've only got the January journal, no worries. Just find a blank space that you can give yourself a little reflection. So I always like to start with the thorns. So start with kind of the obnoxious thing, the annoying thing, the thing that maybe you didn't have any control over, the thing that was frustrating, the thing that maybe stressed you out, again, was kind of out of your locus of control. So for me, that's been decluttering is a little stressful, but it's a thorn, but it can also be a rose, because I cleaned out the pantry kind of on a spur of the whim yesterday. I think the oldest thing I found that had expired was 2017. So I feel like that's not too bad, right? If I had something that expired in 2017. So I got rid of that. But it's kind of a pain, right? When you go through stuff, because when I declutter, I always think, oh, how much money did I spend on this? And now I'm throwing it away. Oh. So that's my thorn. The bud is something, an emerging opportunity, something exciting that's coming up, something that's fun, something that you're looking forward to. And so for me, of course, it's one more week of winter break. So excited to have one more week of freedom to kind of do my thing around the house before I dive back into work. And then a rose is something that's a highlight, something that's fun, something that was fabulous, something that was made you really happy, something that made you smile. And so for me, I went out with three of my friends. The four of us are really a tight knit group, and we do a lot of stuff together. We always meet at least once a month, and we're constantly emailing and that kind of thing. So we went out to kind of a fancy place, little rooftop bar on Friday night. And so we did our picture by the tree, and so that was super fun to be able to do that. So I will play a little bit of music and let you work on this section for yourself, and then we will check back in here in just a moment. All right. So thank you for reflecting on that rose, bud, and thorn for the week. I think it's such an important activity to just spend just a few minutes every week, just kind of thinking about what you did last week, what happened, and, kind of the good, the bad, and the in between, right? And the things that are coming up. It's always important to kind of think of that thing that's coming up. That can give us some joy in the future. So let us continue on. So we are going to work now on pages 26 and 27 in your January journal. I know they do have, page 57 does have Monday and Tuesday from this week. So some people like to finish up that and then they'll move over, but we're just going to work on that page 26 and 27 so that we can get this kind of set up for the full week. And the first thing that we do is up in the top right-hand corner, that box that says, this week I want to feel blank. And this is just a good way to kind of set your intention for the week. Think about how you want to feel, think about how you want to move forward, think about how you want to show up for yourself, for the world. So little ideas for that, like different words that you can kind of pick. I love the feeling good. I think those were such pretty colors, and I love that song. And I did find a little instrumental of it to play for you while you work on those feelings. Here's some other examples of things that folks have put in that box. Maybe it's one word, maybe it's several words, maybe it's a phrase, maybe it's a sticker, maybe it's a quote. Kind of whatever works for you as you put that in to that little box up there. So again, play a little bit of music, let you work on that, and then we'll check right back in. I love all the words that you are coming up with for this week. I really appreciated Kate's idea of the word invest. I think that's a fabulous word. And like Jennifer said, I haven't heard that one very often. So that's kind of a fun one. But some other people are saying things like focused, feeling love, feeling, I was trying to scroll back through here, serenity. That's a fun one. Calm, aligned, hopeful, decluttered. chill. Those are all great words. And again, I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of think about how you want to show up, how you want things to roll this next week. And then here's some other ones that people had picked, some fun little ones as we roll into our major 3 goals. So these are goals we set weekly. Now, if you do monthly goals, you could potentially write the same goals in here for each week and see how those are working out. But I really also like the idea of taking how you want to feel and then think about how achieving these goals would support that feeling throughout the week. So here's some things to think about. You could use December or January's intentions page if you've worked on those on page 9 to help you set those goals, again, in those different areas of your life. Maybe you want to look at the monthly habit tracker on page 11 as you set your weekly goals. Maybe you want to keep that lens of optimism throughout this next week. So you want to set your goals along those lines. Maybe, or you want to switch over to prosperity, the theme for January. Maybe you want to do some no goals, like things that you want to not do or say no to. So for example, no alcohol. I know a lot of people do dry January, so that's coming. No doom scrolling on the internet, no more than a certain number of minutes on social media, no excessive spending, no takeout meals. Maybe these are no goals. Looking at those previous weeks or previous journals to see if there's anything outstanding you want to bring forward or something maybe you hadn't quite accomplished, or you had set the goal but wasn't quite the right time, and now this week might be the right time. Maybe you want to frame it around a personal challenge. So maybe it's a fitness challenge or a cleaning or decluttering challenge, self-care, maybe recipes like a soup challenge, right? The colder months sometimes make me crave some soups. So maybe you want to try some different soups. If you don't want to do a goal, right? Like you think, well, I do a monthly goal, so I'm not really going to do that for the week. You can repurpose this section, adding some quotes or podcasts, movies, TV shows, ways to embrace the winter or embracing the new year, maybe some songs for the week, some topics you want to know more about, 3 new recipes, a mini bingo board. We do love a bingo board here. Maybe some fun activities for the week. Here are some examples of things that folks have done. Maybe you want to have a professional, a mind, and a body goal. Maybe you have, a work goal and a home goal. Maybe you have some vacation goals, those kinds of things. Whoops. To just kind of pick out. So let us know in the chat if you would like, maybe what 1 or 2 or 3 of your goals. That's the other thing too. You can't just set one goal, right? It's okay to just have one. Even though it says 3, you can have just one. It's okay. So, or maybe just 2 that you want to focus on for the week, especially as we're kind of moving into the new year. You don't want to add on a lot of extra things. So I will let you work on that section, and then we'll check back in here in just a moment. Oh, right. So I saw some folks coming up with those goals that they're going to put in there. I think a lot of you are saying things like the first goal is to come up with my goals for 2025. I think that's fabulous. Again, this is a great week for reflecting and really kind of thinking about how you want things to go. And I just got the Elevate Planner. I don't know how many of you have the Elevate Planner that we have. It's kind of that cool, like a little hardbound book, but it's got like all kinds of stuff that is fun for setting goals and reflecting on the last year. So I've been kind of having fun with that. So that's one of my goals, is to dig into that, and as we work forward. So thank you again for sharing in the chat, for spending some time kind of thinking about what you want to work on for this section. I'm going to go over these next two sections on page 20 together, because I think sometimes they kind of merge back and forth. Depends on kind of how you want to keep track. The first one is that to-dos. So those are just things that you want to do throughout the week. And I liked this little quote about sometimes you have to subtract some things to make your life add up. So maybe some of your to-dos are actually to eliminate some things, or again, to say no to some things. So here's some examples of things that folks have done. A lot of folks like to use the Eisenhower matrix, which is that little matrix up in the top right where they have things that are important and urgent, things they want to do, but they're important, but they're not urgent. They want to decide when they're going to do those things. It's not important, but it is urgent. Sometimes it's kind of like busy work, like things like laundry and watering the plants, or then things that are not important and not urgent. Maybe you want to delete, or maybe you just want to delay, or something along those lines. Also, a lot of people like to use the Pomodoro technique to get things done. I like this, where you set the timer for 25 minutes. You work on that task until your time is up, and then you take a 5-minute break. And for every 4 25-minute sections, you take a longer break, like a 15 or 30-minute break. So sometimes breaking it up, I'm always surprised how fast 25 minutes can go when I'm actually focused on something and trying to get something done. So that's a fun technique. Or maybe you want to set a self, home, and work goal. Maybe you want to set a health, home, and work goal. Maybe you want to put in a bingo here. Again, lots of folks like the little bingo. Maybe you want to do more of a to be list. So, how you want to be for the week. So, feelings like grounded, compassionate, reflective, active, delighted, those kinds of things. Maybe you want to think of some self care tips or ideas, things that you want to try. And then the habits and activities, or habities, as I said one day when I was talking too fast. Um, this little section here really are things that you want to kind of try out for the week. So sometimes they're very specific to the week. So a lot of folks will ask, well, how is this different from the monthly habit tracker wheel? So the monthly wheel is really something that's more things you want to do every single day. And these are things that are more specific to the week. So you can see, and you can say, maybe I want to do those a couple times this week, or maybe I want to do them 3 times. So some people are like, nope, I don't have anything for this section, so I'm just going to put in some stickers. I'm just going to do some drawings. I'm just going to ignore this section. I like the person who had the try to get jolly every day. And so they were writing the word jolly in each of those boxes, hoping that they would be able to spell out the word jolly for each day. So that's kind of a fun way. Here's some other examples of things that folks have put in there. Again, it's usually very specific to what you want the week to be, or maybe it's a habit that you want to try out and see how that works. So this is kind of a little space for that. So, oops. So I will let you work on those 2 sections. Let us know how you are using these 2 sections, and then we'll check back in here in just a moment. All right, lots of good ideas for things to put either in that to-do box or the habit activity section. I was thinking one of the things I might do at the habit activity section is find some activities or things to help me with some of my goals for 2025, things that I want to do. So I don't know if any of you follow Gretchen Rubin. We've had a social with her before when she, with the book, The Five Senses, but she's doing, her challenge is 25 minutes of reading every day. She does like a 25 and 25. Last year it was a 24 and 24, that kind of thing. And so hers is, this year is the 25 minutes of reading. And I think I definitely want to do more reading this year. Yeah, Nicole. So I'm going to do that. So one of the things you might want to do to get yourself in gear for that is the habit and activity is the 25 minutes of reading every day. Or maybe the other thing that I want to do is to stop biting my nails. I'm so bad about biting my nails. So doing things like putting on some cuticle cream, painting my nails. I got a fun little nail painting kit from one of my friends. So maybe, you know, writing those kinds of things down to get you in the mode of doing the things to help you reach those big goals. Decluttering, right? Kind of maybe spending 15 minutes decluttering or 10 minutes decluttering, or maybe it's, you know, you want to do more walking. And so you're going to add that in. Maybe it's 5 minutes of walking outside each day or something like that, right? So that's another good thing to use this section for. So let's move over to page 27. And this page, I think, is one of probably the more repurposed pages. It really kind of depends on what folks are wanting to do with different areas of their life for each week, right? This is also a good place if you get our sticker pack. Like I put the mini manifestation sticker in the mind, body, health section. So it's kind of a fun place for that. A lot of folks will do little bingos or little quotes. The meal plan, I think, definitely is one that is repurposed. Obviously, you can use it to plan your meals out for the week. You could also use it to track your meals. Some people like to do that, especially if they're having any sort of physical issues and they're tracking their meals so they can kind of see like they're having some gastrointestinal issues or they're having some allergic issues, those kinds of things to kind of track those sections. I put a little basket of fruit there. Maybe I need to get a little more fruit in my in my eating plan for the week coming up. Here's some other things that people have done with it. Maybe they want to write one good thing each day. Maybe they want to have some to-dos or a schedule that they have. I like it as a packing list. If I'm going to go on a trip, it helps keep me from overpacking, right? It helps me kind of plan out my outfit for each day and the things that I need to have. Then the next section, I'm going to go over all these sections in the page and then give you longer to work on this because again, like I said, sometimes these are kind of interchangeable for folks. So we have that mind, body, health plan. Lots of different ways people have done that. Highlight for the day. The idea is that what are some things you're doing for your mind and your body? Oh, Rachel says I put items on there from the National Day list. That's a good idea because every day is a national something day. I don't know what today is, but there's always, you know, like National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day or those kinds of things are fun to do. I like the one up in the top where they have the puzzle pieces and they have I thrive when all the pieces come together. And so they have different pieces of things that make them feel good. Also, there's one how they feel and what they need for each day. And then the one in the middle, they're just going to observe and they're not going to absorb anything. So just kind of a thought for the week. And then the top one has kind of some fun, the little alliterations, the Motivation Monday, Talk It Out Tuesday. And so they have the ideas for things that they're going to do for each one of those. I love that idea. Super fun. Unplug for an hour. So maybe things that you're going to do for that. Then the shopping list, you can certainly use that for a quote. I wrote for this week, I relish life's moments, finding joy and adventure each day, trusting in my vibrant journey. That was my little affirmation from our personalized coach. So I thought I would write that in there. Christine is using it as a step tracker. Again, we can do quotes. We can have an actual shopping list, things you need to buy. You can write yourself a little letter. Some people do like a tarot or an oracle card pull for the week, and they can kind of use this. Rachel uses it for her Bible verse, right? So another great idea of things that you can use. Here's some other examples of things that folks have done. The bingos, again, always popular to kind of write those in. Some self-care things, some daily rituals that folks want to write to put in there. And then that last little box, the I am loving, is just anything that you're loving. You can fill this out at the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, the end of the week. You can see Things like rest, recharge, and refill my cup, loving the confidence I'm feeling, discovering my creativity, loving simplifying. So just maybe it's like a word or something for the week that you want to look at. So I will cycle through all of these pages. Feel free to share in the chat how you're using any of these sections or not. That's the other thing too. If you have a lot of stickers that have not had a chance to fulfill their sticker destiny, right? This is a great place that you can use to pop those stickers in. Yeah, and Jennifer's mentioning the tab stickers on the monthly sticker pack this month. We are all so excited about that. We have sent a lot of messages to headquarters. So I don't know if you can kind of see there's like these little sticker, my screen is kind of blurry, but there's the little stickers you can use to make a tab. So make it easy to find. So yes, love the tab. So if you get a second, maybe send an email to that hello at Silk and Sonder and just be like, we love the tabs, keep the tabs, please keep the tabs coming in the sticker pack, right? Super fun. So let us know kind of how you're using some of these sections, what you're going to work on for the month, and then I'll play quite a bit of music to let you spend some time, or if you need to go back to the other page to work on that, plenty of time to work on these things. So we'll check back in here in just a few moments. All right. So hopefully you found some things to do with that second page. And again, some people don't use it at all. Sometimes I don't use much of it at all, and I just use it for like a scratch pad to jot down notes of things I'm reading or people I need to call or whatever. So again, it's totally up to you each month, but it is a fun thing to experiment with and see kind of what works, how it's going for you, what things look like. Well, believe it or not, we have come to the end of our hour. I swear this is always the fastest hour of the day. It's way faster than like a treadmill hour or a bike hour or any of those kinds of things, right? It always goes by so quickly. And I'm so glad that you were able to spend a little bit of time with us here this morning, setting up this first week of, finishing up the last week, the last few days of 2024, getting into 2025, which still seems like an odd year, right? So please, if you feel like it, share some of your pages with us in Sonder Club. Share those weekly planner pages. All of these examples were from actual real life Sonder Club folks. So you know that they're not some sort of AI generated. They're all HI, human intelligence, I like to call. So we love to get those examples so that we can share those with you. And Jennifer's popping in the chat some of our different links. I saw someone saying that they were just starting the personalized life coach and taking some of the assessments. Super fun. Enjoy that. I did find out I had mine set up to give me a message every day, and that was too much. So then I switched it to once a week, and then I feel like that wasn't enough. But Jennifer said you can actually tell it how many times you want the message and on what days. So she set hers up for Monday and Friday. So it's kind of a beginning of the week setup and then, kind of a planning for the weekend. So love that idea. And she's popping some links in there. We do have lots of discounts on that. There's an early bird VIP discount you can put in there if you have any questions. Those all, she's got the email address in there. She's also put the link to the YouTube event recordings. It will take a few days sometimes for over the weekend and the holidays, but they should be getting those up there as well. There's also, I think all of our January events are posted on Eventbrite, so you can sign up for those. They're doing a fun exclusive event with someone, and now I don't remember, I didn't get a chance to look at that closely, but most of the events are part of your membership, so there's not an extra charge. The exclusive one, there is a small fee because we usually have like a guest or it's some very separate things from the journal to work on. So glad you were all able to join us. Have a fabulous week. Have a great, safe New Year's Eve, starting out this 2025, and hopefully we will see you again soon. So take care, everyone.
we make it look good.